Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. This is 7 cards for 7 days. We are looking at the week of Monday, September 9th to Sunday, September 15th. And thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome back if you've been here before, and if you're new, so glad you're here. What I'll do is talk a little bit about the astrology, the aspects that are happening this week, and then we'll look at the tarot cards. And I'm using the Wildwood deck this week, one of my very favorite decks, and then we'll end with the Tree Keeper's Oracle card. As always, take what resonates for you, leave the rest behind. It is a reading for the general collective, so this is a way to help develop your intuition, see what fits. All right, so we have our moon in Sag to begin, and you know, that's fire, that's the traveler, perhaps the wanderer. We have a wanderer in the deck in the spread today. Concerned with the higher mind in the sense of can be higher education, legal matters, things like that. And it's fire, of course. And then we end our week with the moon in Aquarius, which is about the air and the humanitarian, the far out ideas, the innovation, the technology, things like that. All right. So our first aspect actually happens on Wednesday, and we now have Mercury going direct, has been for a week or two, and it will be sextile Mars. Now sextiles are you know, comfortable aspects, so this one can really boost our confidence in our ideas. It can help us make quick and energetic decisions. Mercury is you know, about the mind, and then Mars is about our energy, our activity. So it's very good for exercise, and it's also a good day to avoid arguments. And then on Thursday, which would be the 12th, and my sister's birthday, one of my sisters, we have the Sun squaring Jupiter. That could end up feeling a bit restless. Squares are difficult. They just feel sort of uncomfortable. So it could make us feel restless, as I said. We can have a tendency to exaggerate things. That's Jupiter. We might be overconfident. So we want to try not to take on too much, and also to avoid legal issues that day. It's not good for those. Then finally on Saturday, we have a nice aspect with Venus trining Jupiter. So trines are really lovely. That's where the good energy really flows. So it's warm, it's very good for our social lives, romance is favored, that's the Venus and the Jupiter expanding that. We can have harmony at home, and then it's also good for glamour. We're still in the spot where we have Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, and Saturn retrograde. So a lot of opportunity to reflect on those areas of life. Neptune, our very deep mystical selves. Uranus, that rules Aquarius. That's the crazy, the innovative, the way out there, the sudden change. Pluto, incredible transformation. Saturn, our discipline. So, you know, when they back up, they're going back to places they've been. So if you want to go a little bit more deeply into that, you can definitely look it up. Or, you know, feel free to email or leave comments and ask questions. All right. So with the Wildwood deck, our first card for Monday, the 9th, is the Four of Stones. Stones being the earth element. So you can see there are incisions, etchings on these rocks. It's a very Celtic inspired deck, you know, reminiscent of Stonehenge in this picture. And it it conjures up for me innocence because of the fawn and feeling like we need to protect something. Often the card's associated with protecting our resources, being concerned if we have enough or not. But here this almost feels like the body, the animal self really needs to make that ground connection and to feel safe and protected that way. Then when we get to Tuesday, we're staying with the stones element, so the earth element, and we have this amazing tree, and it's not what we typically think of as a tree house because the house part is around the bottom and not up in the top, but I think that's such a cool design. And this one is subtitled Home. So we have protection in the first one, home in the second one. And this tends to be feeling very secure at home, feeling, you know, those tens, that's the end of the cycle before you go into the royal cards or the people cards. And so there's a very strong energy to them. And here, get feeling good, solid, prosperous where you live. When we get to Wednesday, we start a little spate of majors. So out of our 7 cards this week, we have 3 majors right in the middle. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Or I guess the end of the week in some ways. Here, this is the 0 card. It's called the Wanderer. It's the Fool, usually for us. But I love this kind of autumn scene, the skipping of the person off into a new adventure. And that's always the concept with this card, that you have a youthful person, very open, setting off with not much, but ready for an adventure. And I really like, I'll bring it in a little closer so you can see that rainbow. Like I started to say, I really like that rainbow there too, because it feels like that idea of following the rainbow. So hopefully we have a really nice reset that day and can feel, maybe we can laugh at ourselves and say, okay, I did something foolish, or I've been a fool, whatever. But it's okay. And what did I learn on this journey? What can I take away from that? That was helpful. When we get to Thursday, we get the Guardian. This is such an interesting perspective on what usually is the devil. That is card number 15. 1 and 5 make the 6. That relates it to the Lover's card. And you know, we can have a sense of humor about this. It's often associated with Pan, that side of the devil. If you know the poet William Blake, he made the distinction between the devil and Satan he felt like was very much a sort of icky creature that we had created in a kind of I don't know, more intellectual way that was perhaps projection, whereas the devil seemed to be a more vital, earthy energy that, of course, we can find, you know, in ancient mythology. Here we have an actual bear skeleton. I know that because of reading the description of the you know, the book that comes with these cards. So it's very different in that way, and yet seems quite animated in some sense. Those huge hands and arms, that giant skull, rib cage, and so forth. And what is back there? What is being guarded? And that could be us guarding our own shadow, our own darkness, the things that we struggle with. I don't know why, but I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I've been thinking about codependence a lot, and how it seems like that is definitely something that is very prevalent. And how do we have healthy relationships and attachments, and, you know, not unhealthy ones, which is what codependence is about. So I have a feeling that Guardian is you know, encouraging us to go into those spaces that maybe looked a little scary before. When we get to Friday, we have the 7, so our 3rd major, our last major for this week's spread, and this one's called the Archer, though generally you would know it as excuse me, the Chariot. And usually you don't get a kind of female figure, you tend to get a masculine. So I love that they've switched that up here, and the figure just looks so powerful, so focused. And that's what it is. And to me, the card has always been about either you're really getting ready to do something and bringing your focus to it, or you are ready to go. Only you would know that. But Friday might find us at this point where we could be waiting for something to, for us to move forward on something, or we're absolutely ready and going forward with it. And we get our second 4 on Saturday. This one is the 4 of bows, and bows represent the fire element in this deck, and you have celebration. It's a party, and it seems to be all female figures, which is not uncommon for this card if they do put people on it at all. And 4s I didn't really mention before, and I want to say something about that right now, because the 4s are all connected to the Emperor, and even the Wanderer, the Fool, is connected to the Emperor. I don't know why that is, but in classic tarot, I've read that there's a connection there. So it's an earth number. It's very foundational, very strong, and so it's a celebration, I think, that is well deserved, and can help people bond more. And we end again with stones. That was our dominant element. So the earth energy is strong this week, which is kind of interesting since we start with a fire moon and end with an air moon. The earth coming in so strongly this week, I think, is a really good thing. So this time it's the page, which is frequently a messenger, a new energy coming in. And obviously stones, again, the earth element. We have a lynx. I've always thought lynxes were exceptionally beautiful. I mean, of course, this one is exaggerated with the ears and things like that, but they do have those pointed ears. And very comfortable in this tangle of tree, which seems to be perched on a rock, too. But the lynx has absolute control, it looks like, in this situation. Those claws can grab onto that wood, the wood being held by the rock. And so we might get some kind of information that day that has to do with our physicality, with our material situation. And pages can also be playful too. So, good time to do maybe some physical activity on that next Sunday. All right. So, thanks for hanging in. We're going to end here with our Tree Keeper Oracle card. And we drew the Keeper of the Wild today. This is one of my favorites. The wild isn't just a place out there. It's also a place in here. You are related to elk and deer, butterfly and hummingbird, bison, gazelle, and tiger. The mountains live in your bones, the rivers in your veins, wildflowers grow along the chambers of your heart. You weren't born to pay bills and die, distracting yourself with the secondary satisfaction of house and car and happy hour. We had this one not long ago. I remember that part now. The time has come to unplug from your current matrix. Your mind is a savanna teeming with running wildebeests. Your heart is an ocean full of mighty whales and splendid dolphins. Your soul is a forest full of stories the moon whispers late at night. Indulge your own nature and rewild your life. And I think that's the really important part, that, we aren't here just to be domesticated animals, that, we do have a wildness, and we can relate to that wildness and respect the wildness that's out there, and, make those connections. So, beloveds, I'm wishing you the best possible 7 days. Please let me know how things are going, and please also like the video, share with people you think might like it, and subscribe if you haven't done that already. And if I can help you with the personal reading, there's information in the description box below the video, and there'll be some stuff at the end. And You know, that can be all kinds of questions about life. And if you've never had a psychic reading, I think it's a treat. It's an interesting thing. They've helped me a lot in my life. All right, see you in 7 days.